I'm a drug-free powerlifter who competes at the international level. I've broken multiple world records, I've won championships, I've won special awards, I've competed at everything from local meets to the biggest meet you can possibly compete at as a drug-free powerlifter. Stuff where you've got 2,500 people live chanting as you squat the weight of the world. All right, so I've done it all, I've seen it all, I've been through it all, and I'm excited to keep pushing. But I want to share something with you that it just needs to be said. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this shit. I've had a couple people reach out over the years, people who start off in powerlifting but really are just trying to make it in something, and they ask me what it takes to get to where I've gotten. Now, I don't think where I've gotten is that special, honestly, but I do get it. I understand that where I am now is very different than where I started, and that gap seems extremely large to most people. And even the way I see it from where I'm trying to go versus where I am now, that gap seems extremely large, and I have to be mindful of this. So this is just, it's raw shit, okay? This is the real stuff. This is the stuff that makes or breaks champions. And in my opinion, this is the difference between those that end up where I am versus never even coming close, to be completely frank. So let's just dive right into it. So first is a clear vision. You need to have a very, very clear vision about what it is you are hunting, what it is you are after. Okay, now, I am a man of faith. I try my absolute best. Some days it's much harder than others, but I try my absolute best to be a follower of Christ. That means I try to listen to his teachings, but also follow in his footsteps. And it's much easier said than done. But why I say that is part of having a clear vision is making sure the vision is clear. So you take all the worldly shit and you throw it out the window. You take all the stuff that the world wants from you, the world expects you to do, the world expects of you. You throw it out the window. You must be aligned. And I believe if you are aligned with him, capital H, then you know that whatever those desires are, whatever it is that you are trying to attain, build towards, it's meant for you. And it's for you, if that makes sense. So clear vision is absolutely imperative. After that, you have to have an undying delusion. And this is really difficult to sustain, especially like once you start failing and once you start facing real adversity. And to me, real adversity means you are trying really fucking hard to do something and you just can't do it. That's real adversity. When things happen that are outside of your control, that just seem completely unfair, that's real adversity. Stuff that seems almost insurmountable, stuff that seems like the odds are stacked against you, that's real adversity. And it's going to come at you from every fucking angle. You have to have an undying delusion that this clear vision you have is completely possible and attainable. Not only that, it's inevitable, okay? Lastly, you need a relentless execution. This is obvious. You have to keep going. You have to keep fighting for it. All right, like just because it doesn't work out the first time, and chances are it won't, doesn't mean it's not meant for you, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You can't let that stop you. You have to sign a contract. Mentally, you have to sign a contract that says, no matter fucking what, I am all in. I'm going all in. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I have to do this. It's in my DNA to do this. I have to do this. I have to see this through. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you, man. So I'm a junior world champion powerlifter. I told you I've broken world records, all this stuff, whatever. I don't care about powerlifting. And that offends some people, especially people who really love the sport. I love the sport for what it is, but the sport is not my identity. I didn't get into the sport because I love powerlifting. I got into the sport because that was the only way I could measure myself. It was the only way, the only standard I could find to make a decision as to whether or not I am who I say I am. In other words, I love the grit. I love the grind. I love to train. I love to lift weights and be strong and test myself there. But what does it mean if I'm just looking at myself in the mirror, if I'm just lifting weights in the gym? I need to be measured up against the best of the best. And that's what powerlifting gave me. You get 3 referees, sometimes even a jury table with a bunch of guys who might overturn your shit. If you know, you know. And long story short, they're going to judge your stuff. So not only do you have your own metric, but you have their metric. And then you have the metric of competitors, right? My point is, I got into powerlifting because I knew I was born to be great. And I wanted to become a world champion. In something, in anything. Powerlifting happened to be the vehicle I took to do so. And there's other things I'm getting into, things that are completely different from powerlifting that I'm trying to do the same exact thing with. Because again, I believe I was born to be great in anything I choose. I believe God planted a seed of greatness within me, but it's my job and my choice. It's my job, my obligation, my responsibility to grow that seed. You understand? I also believe that you have that same seed within you as well. It's the whole fucking reason why I'm making this video. And that's why I'm not sugarcoating any of this, all right? I got to go to bed. All right, I'm exhausted. But I don't want to sugarcoat any of it. All right, you got me at no filter right now, where I'm not even using my special camera. Right now, I'm just using my iPhone. You're lucky I have a lav mic on. My point is, this is it. At one point in time, and I don't say this to be a dick, but at one point in time, when I first started powerlifting, I was lifting the same weights as other 93s, as other people who were competing against me. Same weights. In fact, I was lifting lighter weights, really, if you think about it. Somehow, in some way, over the course of 2 years, then 3 years, then 4, I think we're now maybe approaching 5 total. I've gotten to where I am. They stayed where they are. Now, I'm not here to judge them or judge their journey. That's not my place. In fact, in my opinion, I don't judge anyone if they choose not to do something, not to pursue something, not to go all in. That's your choice to make. Just don't complain about not having what it is you didn't want to sacrifice for, right? But as long as you're not going to complain about it, like, fair is fair. Like, you got what you got. That's cool. That's fine. That's not me. I'm not here to be average. I refuse to be average. And I understand some people, it might rub them the wrong way. That's just me. I'm sorry. And I feel like it's my job to inspire you, to show you that you are born to be above average. So my point is, something had to give. There had to be a reason why some people stayed where they are and I didn't. This is it. Like, I'm not special. I don't have any like special gifts or talents, really, like nothing different than what anybody else would have. We've all got seeds of greatness. We've all got gifts that God has given us that has allowed us to prosper and flourish in different ways. Absolutely. But I guess, how do I put this? We all have the superpower, right? So everything's equated in a way. This is the difference. And what's beautiful about this is that this is within your control. So there's no blaming anybody else. There's no blaming anything else. I cannot tell you how many times I would walk into the gym. It'd be the middle of winter, cold as fuck. I'd be miserable. I'd have classes. At the time I was in college. I would go to the gym at night. It'd be like 9 p.m. I knew I had like a 3-hour training session ahead of me, and I would check Instagram and I would see the King of the Lifts posts. And at the time I was really nobody, right? Like super, super nobody. And I would just see all the top 5 names, all the top 5 guys that King of the Lifts would shout out and have on podcasts and stuff. And this guy's the top of here and this. And I used to get so frustrated and angry. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I hate that my name's not there. I hate they're not using my name. I hate they're not speaking my name. I hate that they're not respecting my name. I hate that I am not worthy of that. And every fucking day I would go into the gym and I'd train with that type of intensity. That's how I viewed it. That's how I saw it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is up here. That's so amazing. Imagine one day. No. It was like, that's already mine. That belongs to me. It's just a matter of time. And that's still how I think about my goals. That's still how I think about everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I still have self-doubt. I still have fear. Sometimes I feel despair, especially when I try really, really hard to accomplish something and I fall short. But that's part of life. That has to happen. Nobody wants to read a story about a knight who never had to slay a dragon. You don't learn anything. You can't resonate with anything. It's not real. So this is it, okay? So sack up and do this. And it could be with anything you want to do. But if you're the kind of guy who's saying, you know what, I'm just going to let life pass me by. I'm just going to bitch about everything. Yeah, maybe things aren't the way I want them to be, but oh well, what am I going to do about it? That's not going to cut it. Take control, all right? And this is where it starts. Clear vision, undying delusion, relentless execution, all right? Hopefully this was of value to some people. Good night.